Trav? Look, I think 6 years in the job now, and there comes a point where it's sort of time, and I think it's a perfect time now to hand it over. And I've absolutely loved leading this great club. I come into this club as an 18, 19-year-old happy to play a game, and to captain this club for 6 years has been a huge honour, and something that I'll cherish forever. And but there always comes a point in time where it's time to hand it on, and I think this is the perfect time. The group's in a great place to move forward with whoever is next.
How long has it been weighing on your mind?
Look, we chat about it at the end of every year. How's it gone? What's worked? What can we work on? And we sort of had a chat this off season and made that decision. And you always think about what's best for the group when you're in this position. And I think that's come really clear towards the back end of this year, that I think it's a perfect time to move on.
Is it a decision that you make, or does Ken say something to you, or does Ken say, I'm happy for you to go on next year if you feel you're up to it, or how does that work?
I think it was a mutual decision. We're both on the same page, and that was the beauty of our relationship throughout the whole 6 years of Ken being the coach and myself as captain. Is we've been open and honest throughout the whole stage, and we've shared everything together, and that discussion was had, and I think we're on the same page pretty much the whole way through. And it was a mutual decision to that was right for the group for someone else to take the role.
So what was your reaction when Travis told this?
Yeah, it was when you're a first time coach and you come to a football club, and one of the big decisions you have to make is who's going to lead the football club. And I leant on this fella and I said, Trav, we want you to be captain of this great footy club. That's a very, very big decision for us to take on, and for me to take on and go, gee, I don't know much about Travis Boak, to be honest, other than what his teammates thought of him. And I thought, well, that's a pretty good recommendation. But in 6 years' time, I know a lot about Travis Boak, and I can say one thing, I made a very, very good decision.
Could he have gone on?
Oh, yeah. He's going to go on and play footy, so he's not disappearing, so he could have quite easily gone on. But, I still think I remember the conversation I had with Dom Cassisi, who was Trav took over from Dom, and Dom was very much like Travis. The team's really important to them, and the time for them to do what they need to do is the right time, and Dom was the same. Trav's the same now. It's the right time for Trav to let someone else have a go, but more importantly to let himself have some freedom, and because it's a big job, isn't it? You talk about what he's got to put up with and what he's got to do as a player first, and then he's got to be the captain and the voice of the club, and he's got to stand up the front all the time, and more often than not all the time when there's some difficult things to be done, and he's a star. He's done it very well.
So it's a mutual decision, so obviously you believe the time's right to change leadership as well?
Yeah, you reflect and you look at things and you go, well, what's the best for the club, best for the player, and I think this one actually works out absolutely perfect. After 137 games as captain, this is a good time to let him have some freedom.
So is that purely the issue? Because if you're as good a captain as you are and you can keep going on, why is it best for the group that why is it best for you that you step aside?
I'm getting old now, mate. No, look, I think it's as Ken said, I think it's perfect for I think what you are as captain is you want to make sure that your message is getting across well enough the whole time, and I think right now it's time for a new voice, really. For me, my role's not going to change a hell of a lot. I'm going to have a 0 next to my number now as well, but I'm still going to help whoever is next, and I think it's a perfect opportunity for that next person to take over. It's hard to explain, but it's that feeling you get that it's the right decision to make, and for me to go out there and play footy and support whoever is going to take that number 1 Guernsey, and I'm sure they'll do it a great job.
Treaders is one person that said when he relinquished the captaincy, it really helped his playing ability. Do you think that's something that can help you next year?
Yeah, I think. I guess I'll wait and see, but certainly it does take a bit of a load off your shoulders. There's no doubt about that, and. When you are captain, you try and control everything, and it's not easy to step away from any sort of decision and everything that's going on. But look, now I'll probably take a step back, but certainly still try and help as much as I can in that leadership space.
Will you still be part of the leadership group and go to all the meetings and all that sort of stuff?
Yes, so that'll be discussions we'll have throughout the pre-season, and that's discussions had on who's in the leadership group, who's going to lead that charge. So we've still got to have those discussions for sure.
What was it like telling your teammates?
Yeah, I was actually a little bit emotional this morning. I spoke to Mum last night, and she knew straight away. But had a chat, and yeah, it's a little bit emotional. But no, that's probably the hardest part. Always chatting to the boys, and to having their support for the 6 years. Not only from the leaders, but all the players, and having them vote you in, every year is pretty special. So yeah, to tell the boys is always pretty emotional. But no, it was good to chat to them, and to have them thank me is pretty special.
Why now? Why normally these leadership things are decided at the start of the year, just before the season? Why do you feel pre-season has to give whoever's going to take over a chance?
I think that's perfect time. Trav knows where he's at, and he knows what he wants to do. I think there's a great opportunity now for 3.5 months, or whatever it might be, for whoever the replacement. It's a big job. It's a big person you're replacing, so to give them some time to get used to that idea and to see some growth in some individuals, that will be really exciting for, I'm sure, for Trav to watch, but also for us to watch. So I think it's a perfect time. It's about the club. We're making some change, and Trav's decided that this is a good time for that change to continue. So I think that's really important, that with 3.5 months to go before the season probably starts, or looks like starting, we've got time to have a look at these boys, and people get a chance to show what they've got.
Do you think you'll go with a sole captain, or do you think you might go with a co-captain?
Yeah, look, I don't know. Let me wait. Typically we've had a captain, so in my time I've only known one captain, and that's what I know. So, but we'll let people expose themselves and see what happens and see where they're at, and we'll make decisions then. It'll be a collective decision though. It'll have player input, it'll have coach input, it'll have board input. So there'll be lots of people who have an input into what that looks like.
Has that been something discussed, like in the end of season review, that maybe not co-captaincy thing might work best for this group? Or?
No, we needed to be sure what was going on with our captain, and his decision to do what he's done is really important first and foremost. So those discussions now will take place, and that's why we'll buy some time. We won't be in a hurry to talk about who it will be or who it won't be.
If you had those votes tomorrow, though, are there in your mind a few people that you'd be writing down at this club?
Yeah, there'd be 4 or 5, I reckon, without putting names on them. I think that's unfair today because it's about Trav. I think there's people, I'm sure, who are pretty obvious, but there's a group of them. There's not just 1 or 2 or 3, but I'm not going to sit here and give you their names.
Given that there are 4 or 5 of them, though, I think everyone sort of agrees that there will be a few that might be best for that role. How difficult is that vote going to be? When Trav was going around and he was elected, Trav was the clear-cut choice from the outside anyway.
Yeah. No, I reckon that's a good point, because it was incredibly clear, from a player's point of view. That's really important, and certainly from mine. I was here when it first happened, so I was really supportive of it. But it will be interesting now, because that's what happens now with a bit of time. Players actually, this morning they sit there and go, oh, so what's that mean? Someone else is going to be getting called Skip on the football ground when they're out there. I hear them running around out there this morning and Skip. What's that going to do? So someone else is going to have that opportunity. So that's a pretty exciting opportunity for someone.
Would you like someone to know now, Ken? Would you like someone to know before Christmas so they can attack it? Like, say, if you want someone to experience and be exposed, when do you hope to make a call then?
I think we won't make a call well into the new year, and it'll be. I'll put a timeline on it around JLT, but I'm not going to say it's going to be before or after. I'm not ready to make those decisions right now. I'm ready to give time to look at all the options.
So does training look any different, or the club feel any different without a captain?
No, in spirit, he's the captain. And he'll probably feel like that probably to the end of his playing time, I reckon. And they'll feel like that about him because he's led them so well. The new person who comes in goes, well, I've got big shoes to fill, but I'm sure, Trav, you felt like that against Dom Cassisi. When you come in and you take over some really, really special people, you do feel a bit that way.
What are you looking for in a new captain?
I'm looking for a bloke that's very, very similar to Travis Boak, who just leads the right way. He's just so reliable on the field, off the field, everything he does. If I gave you a detailed diary of what Travis's off seasons look like, it'd be about improving himself, improving the club, even though he's supposed to be having a holiday. That's what Trav does, and that's what we want the new person to come in and do is to be that person who sets standards. We want to have really high standards, and we want to live up to what he's been able to do.
So you're sending all your prospective captains over to the US for a training camp with Red Bull?
When the golf down, I know you said you'd had input from players, coaches and everything else, but it comes down to your call, doesn't it?
No, that's not right.
Doesn't it?
No, it's not. It's a group. Yeah, it's a group discussion. I mean, to be fair, this is the most important person on game day. they fall in behind someone to follow on game day, and that's that person who's out the front, copping the hits with them, taking the punishment with them, chasing and running as hard as with them. I'm not that person on game day. I'm there to try and keep them as calm as I possibly can, I think. But when you want to play with someone, and I often say when you want to fall in behind someone, you want to make sure you're falling behind the right person. And this bloke's been the right person for the last 6 years, and the next person will be the right person too.
Trav, how does it sit with you that you've captained this club for the most games in the AFL?
Yeah, look, it's probably something I'll think about more once I've finished. There's no doubt about that, but it is pretty special. As I said, putting on that number 1 Guernsey for the first time, running out at Amy Stadium, I think it was the first time, and it was a special moment. And I said to the boys this morning, I never saw myself as a leader. When I first come to the club, growing up, none of that. And to get the call into Kenny's office, it was about 9 o'clock one night, I reckon. He'd come in here and he said I'd captain the club. I was blown away, and it's truly something pretty special. And you ask any captain in the AFL, but any captain that's captained this club, it is very, very special. And to captain the most games is something that I'll look back on and cherish for sure. It's a real privilege putting the number 1 Guernsey on. There's no doubt about that.
And with fewer responsibilities and no doubt less engagements now, what are you going to do with all that free time?
I've got a business to look after now, Rogers. So look, I won't change too much. I mean, around the club, I'll still, try and help and support the leaders, the captain, the younger guys as much as I can. So my hours won't change. I'll be in here as long as I can to improve myself in the club. There's no doubt about that, and try and improve this group to get us back to where we want to go. So not too much will change. I'll just have a 0 next to my 1 now.
How was it received by the playing group? You said you were emotional. Were they emotional?
Look, I think it was great that to get the applause at the end, and just the thanks was pretty special. As I said, they elected me for 6 years, and for them to be grateful and to say that I was a great captain for them is something that's probably the most special. And for them to say that and thank me is probably the best part.
Are there any wins or moments that stand out particularly for you, Trav, during those 6 years?
There's certainly been some great wins. There's no doubt about that. And the best moments are in the rooms after the game. And you lead the boys off after a game, after a win is certainly pretty special. But I look back and some of the moments, running out with, some of the kids who've had cancer, for the club to do that and to share those moments with, people who are, a little bit less unfortunate and going through some tough times. Those sort of moments that make it really special. You're in position to help. They're incredible moments as well. It's not just footy, and it's a lot bigger than that. And to be in a position to do that was pretty great. But there's certainly been some great moments on the field as well.
Trav, the skipper is tattooed in for a game each week, of course. Now, I'm not suggesting you're not in Ken's best 22, but without the captaincy, is there a sense of relief that now you can just focus on what you'll have to do on game day that won't involve 21 other blokes, making sure they're ready to go too?
Look, the most important thing is playing your role, and I'll continue to do that, and that'll be my number 1 focus. And whether it be forward line, midfield, whatever, I'll still be directing as much as I can out there. So not too much is going to change in that sense. But I'll go out and play footy and play my role for the team to help us win, and that's what I've been doing.
What's it like?
Last couple guys.
What's that?
What's it like doing another pre-season?
Yeah, I'm into 13 now, so I haven't missed a beat yet, so 2 weeks in. It's been good. Body's feeling still amazing. And I think now once you get to 30, you've got to try and put as much back into your body as you take out. So that's sort of what I've been trying to do. And it's great being out here and the young guys we've had into this group, and even blokes like Bertz and Maisie coming in have been great, and Lice. These sort of guys around the club have been fantastic. And the energy from the young boys coming in is going to be pretty special.
Ken, you happy with how it started? Pre-season?
Yeah, very happy with the way it's going, and the boys are doing really well. And more importantly for us, we're just happy that we're back and having a go. I think that's really important. We're ready to go again, and that's what we'll do. Big day today for this fella, though. I reckon it's really important to remember that when we talk about anything else. This is Trav, and what Trav's done for our football club. I'll be forever grateful for this bloke for what he did.
Can your next captain be a defender, Ken?
I don't care about that today. I care about my great captain here, who's been sitting beside me for 6 years, and I should just say thank you to Travis because he's just been a star, and that's where I'd like to finish, I reckon.
Yep, excellent.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks,
Thanks, guys. Thank you.